Hi, in the wallflowers garden today. I'm just trying to use a piece of land that's basically being wasted at the moment, just weeds are growing. So I've weeded the top of it, turned it all over, and spent a good time pulling roots, weed balls, and as much as the weed ball underneath as I possibly can drag out. This bed is primarily for carrots, so I'm trying to keep it clean underneath as much as possible, to make sure they grow. So here we are today, and I'm just using this bamboo stick as a guide so I can get a straight line of carrots. So I have 2 packs of carrots today. For the 2 packs it's only cost me £1 from Wilco's. One's got 1,600 seeds in and the other's got 1,500. So for £1 it's a great investment. This pack's open, so I'm going to continue with these seeds. Put the wood down to try and keep clean, but it never works that way, does it? So I'm just sprinkling down the line. A few clumps will appear here and there, but I'm sure I can thin those out along the way. And there we have line number 1. Just cover that up. Mark with my bamboo stick where we're actually up with, so I can do the next layer, or the next lane. We do have some carrots coming up, but they've been really slow so far. I think I've got a bit of carrot envy at the minute, seeing how others have grown, but all will come to dampen with. So, line number 2. Best trowel in the world, somebody said on a video this week. Use your hands. So here we go again, line number 2. To the other side so I know where I am. Just pinch the soil in together. It's been too hot for me to actually come out and do too much today, so I've literally done 10 minutes, gone in, had a nice lolly or a cool drink, and then come out again. So we're actually 9 o'clock at night at the moment, and it feels lovely. It's still really warm, but there's a coolness to it that wasn't there earlier in the day. So I'm hoping I've got an hour to play before my family call me in. I feel like a little girl sometimes because the family will come and shout, "You've been up there all day, it's time to come in." Mr. Wallflowers cooking tea. and tell me I have to come in and eat my tea and drink my cup of coffee. I can't really complain, I'm well looked after. It does feel peculiar sometimes being called in. You've played out all day. I'm sure other gardeners understand and totally know what I'm saying. The best thing anyone can do at the moment is start growing some food. Doesn't matter where you start, carrots are really easy to do. You just put the seeds in the ground and you just leave them. They might take a while, but when you get that bounty through, it's, you know, it's cost £1 for these, but I shall hopefully get a full section here of carrots. You know, there'll be hundreds and hundreds of carrots that I get. Strawberries, you know, fruit for the children, you know, buy a tree, buy a fruit tree, an apple tree, a pear tree, whatever the fruit is that you like, go and buy a tree. Some can be expensive if you buy from particular places, but you go to places like Aldi, get a tree for £6 or £7. Yeah, you might think, oh, well, they're not really good quality. I'll show you in a moment. I have a pear tree over there, and I've had it for around 10 years, maybe more. We bought it for about £6 from Aldi. It's an excellent tree. The fruit's absolutely delicious. Don't be put off because you think, oh, it's a cheap tree in a cheap shop. A tree's a tree, you know, as long as it's got the good soil to grow in. And the weather we have here is fantastic for it. I mean, locally where we are in Skelmersdale in Lancashire, we mostly have clay soil. And you hear a lot of negativity about clay soil. Clay soil is beautiful soil. You can grow so much in clay soil. Sometimes you might have to change the pH. I don't understand all the scientific side of it. I've seen people do the NPK videos and, you know, change the balance this way and that. I don't understand that. I've never done that. But I'm still able to grow food in abundance for my family and able to store it. You know, hopefully these carrots that I collect here, once they're grown, I can keep some in the pantry fresh, just in a box, and we can use them as we go along. I can freeze some, but with the canning machine now, I can actually put them away and they will last me a year, 2 years, 3 years, and even longer. So this one growing season could provide enough carrots for me for the next 2 years or more, you know. Depends how often you eat them. Depending on what meals we eat, but this is just one thing to grow. Just do it. It doesn't matter how much space you have in the garden, it doesn't matter how neglected you feel your garden is. This is a small patch. Just go out and clear a patch and put something in it. You'll be so proud of yourself once you've done it. Anyway, let me get these carrots in or we'll never have them to eat. Well, this is literally only going to be half a lane. So what I'm going to do is open the second packet. So that first packet, if anyone's interested, I can't even see without my glasses, was a carrot called James Scarlet Intermediate. From reading the back of the package, this is actually a competition carrot. Good enough to grow in competitions. 25 pence for 1,500 seeds, good enough to grow and enter competitions with. Can't grumble at that. So this second, oh, trust me, I always rip the wrong end off. This one's called Autumn King 2. And by the name I presume it's an autumn carrot, so should keep us going. I don't know how many hungry gaps there are. I believe we've just been through one before the flush comes through, but I'm sure there's another hungry gap later on in the year. Look how many, I mean that's not even half the packet. So I'll continue with this one. When my youngest son was really young, he wouldn't really eat carrots. So when cooking them, I started to add 100 ml of orange juice or lemon juice. It really sweetened them up. Although he won't eat cabbages, onions, a lot of the vegetables that we use on a daily meal plan, he will eat carrots. So, and now I don't even have to add the lemon juice or the orange juice, which is quite good. But that initial sweetness that he tastes actually gave him the taste for the carrots. So as I say, I'm going in now with the hand trowel. My hand. Oh, still weeds in, but I can pull them out in a bit if I need to. Some will just break down organically and just feed the soil. Oh, there's a lot of carrots. Nope. Draw a straight line there. That would help. I'm actually, I've got some spinach in another bed, and I've just checked planting companions, and carrots grow quite nicely with spinach. So, as I say, in another bed, I have some spinach, and I'm actually going to trim the edge of this path and put the spinach in there. So those carrots can actually be saved for now. But I think I'm not sure if it was 4 or 5 rows there. Mr. Wallflowers, did you count?
6.
6, even better. Okay, so if I leave that there, just take a look at the spinach that I'm about to transplant. So if you can come in a bit closer, just behind this purple sprouting broccoli, I've done the Charles Darwin method. So I've planted a few spinaches together in each one, and I shall transplant them the same, and as I say, put them along the path edge there. So the spinach is picked on a regular basis. We use that in stews, casseroles, making pizzas. We use spinach quite a lot, so I can actually stand on the path rather than trampling over all the carrots. My sprouts around the garden, my sprout plants, I have quite a few of these, and I had a couple just in a really shallow tray, and they've been there for quite a while. So today, in this patch we've done, I've actually moved one of the sprouts and just put it to the edge there. Again, I did check the compatibility of the sprouts with the carrots and the spinach, and they seem decent companions. I'm actually shattered, you can probably hear me panting for breath up and down on the floor. But yeah, so that's the new carrot patch. Let me know if you've done any new areas, changed any areas of the garden that were just, weeds or not being used, and see what we can actually get out of it to feed our families. Put it in the comments, let me know. What I did actually say before was about the pear tree. This is the pear tree. As I say, I bought this a number of years ago from Aldi, really cheap. But the pears on it are absolutely delicious. You know, these are just babies yet growing, but you can see they're a lovely shape, a lovely colour and size. I don't have as many on it this year. It was totally abundant last year and hanging over. It was that heavy laden with fruit. And we cut it back severely, so the fruit is much less. But I'm still happy there's some fruit on it, and I'm hoping next year we'll be back to the abundance again. It will need it will need a trim across the top again. But I'll say when it was cut this year, there were major branches cut out, so I think it's had a big effect on the tree. I've suffered really. I've not been able to get any apples this year. My small apple, all the trees were cut back, so I'm not sure if it's because I actually cut them back or whether there's a drought on the apples this year. But I think somewhere just underneath I have 2 apples on this tree, and that seems to be my lot this year. So I'm hoping they come totally through and we get to eat them. And my apple supply will totally come from foraging this year, because there are some beautiful apple trees just growing in the wild here in Skelmersdale. When we go on our foraging walks, we see quite a lot of apple trees. Last year we still had an abundance of ours, but we did pick a couple to try them, and they are quite nice. So I'm hoping this year to be able to do my apple stocking up from the wild. This is the other apple tree. I'm having problems with it again. I've got curl leaf, and I do believe there are meachies under the leaves, and I don't really want to be too harsh on this tree yet, because it showed signs of dying down last year, and when we cut it back it did come back. So I think I'm letting the insects have a little run on it this year. There's no fruit on it, there's no loss for me this year, and then I shall cut them back. Depending on how bad this gets, I might just top them. The peas, although it looks like 2 little small patches, I'm picking a jar's worth daily. So as I say, I store them in jars that I've pressure cooked in a canning machine, and I've got 3 jars of peas on my shelf already. Another jar I've picked today, and I'm sure I'll be coming out every day now picking at least 1 or 2 jars of peas. So what I do is I give it a slight squeeze, and if I think there's more room to grow, I just wait a couple of days and let that come tomorrow. Now I know all of those aren't ready because I've actually done my picking today, but the new flowers and the new growth show me that there's plenty more to come. So I'm quite happy with the peas. What we are doing at the moment is, on my last garden video, in the potato bed, which is going crazy at the minute, so I think I'm going to actually take this netting off later on. We just had the sweet corn in pots. Now if you'd like to follow me, I'll show you a new bed and a new idea. I'm not going to apologise for the mess in the garden, because everything is a work in process. A lot going on. I don't like to throw anything away because of my recycling projects. So, as I say, I'm not apologising for the mess. This, as you can see, it's a single divan bed that someone kindly let us have because they bought a new one. I've actually torn the top of the material off. I started with cardboard on the initial layer. I mean, you got to remember this is actually on a concrete base, so anything that grows in it, the roots are going to come to a stop. So I've only got the depth of the bed to grow in. So I've got the cardboard on the bottom, twigs, trees, organic waste from the garden, organic waste from the kitchen. And what we actually did, funny enough, we've got 2 compost bins and both were coming near the surface, so we decided just to empty the compost bins, put the contents in here, and then we've got the space in the compost bins to start again. And what we've put in here will break down naturally and be delicious soil for us to grow our food in. So I'm still in the process of filling this side up. Underneath we have layers, paper, cardboard, all the insects are quite happy under there. And I've put the sweet corn in already because they were being crowded out because the potatoes were so tall. I do have a lot more sweet corn to come out. I lost a batch of sweet corn, which was quite upsetting, but I do have another batch about to come out. I only have 3 or 4 that are the recommended 6 inches to plant out. The others are 3 and 4 inches, so a few more days of this glorious weather and I should be able to plant out a full bed of sweet corn. That would be lovely to watch them. I remember growing sweet corn years ago when the boys were quite small. They used to call them the dancing flowers, and you'd literally see the sweet corn arms, you know, blowing in the wind, dancing. It's quite nice to see. So yes, introducing the new sweet corn bed. It's going to be fabulous. Yes, we'll still lose water out the sides, but when Mr. Wallflowers has some time, he will clad that with pallet wood. We'll keep the water retention a bit tighter, but I'm absolutely chuffed to bits with this bed, and I'm hoping it produces us quite a bit of food. Okay, I shall put some photographs on and show the run through of actually filling this bed. It was hard work, don't get me wrong. Sometimes I was running around in the rain collecting the waste, and as you know today, running around in these temperatures isn't great either, but absolutely chuffed. So not only have I got a new sweet corn bed, I've actually got a new carrot bed as well. So although these are not massive gardens, they're not tiny, but they're not massive, my home allotment is growing and I'm still looking for space to change and to incorporate more vegetables and to incorporate a lot more growth. It's hard work and I'm running out of time, but we will eventually make it look like our little Garden of Eden. Okay, thank you for joining us today. I'd really appreciate it if you could like the video, possibly share and subscribe. I will be bringing you more videos soon. See you soon.